Hey everybody, Billy BB back with you on the 1480 WHBC YouTube channel. Appreciate you tuning in. What you want to do right now is subscribe, drop down in the comments, and talk about what's going on in Stark County or about our special guest today that we have with us. 1.24 million subscribers on YouTube, 555,000 followers on Instagram, 13.4 million likes on TikTok, and it all started at the University of Mount Union. D'Vontay Friga joins us now. D'Vontay, thanks for coming on with us, man.
Of course, man. Happy to be here. Started at Mount with you.
There it is. D'Vontay and I did go to school together. That's where he started hooping, and he kept hooping, and that's got him to the YouTube success that he's at now. A lot to cover in this video, D'Vontay. What you're up to now, how you got there, and you also got a lot going on at home as well as on the court. Let's start with Mount Union. The idea of filming the life of a Division III basketball player. That's kind of where it started, right?
Yeah, man. At Mount, I was like watching a lot of YouTubers. Like that was around the time when there was a lot of daily vlogging going on, like Casey Neistat, the Paul brothers, Roman Atwood. A lot of these people were just posting things daily, and it was the trend. You know, YouTube and social media hops on and off different trends and different things. And I was trying to figure out if I had an interesting enough life to like just record and vlog my life. And I was actually studying exercise science at the time and just like wasn't as interested in it. And, you know, we had the integrated media programs and everything that where you and I actually met. But yeah, I ended up switching my major and I was able to just be around cameras and laptops and talk about film all the time. And it was stuff I was way more interested in while I was also going to school for basketball, because in my mind, I was obviously going to college, but my main focus was playing basketball. So I started recording my life and just vlogging my life actually as a college student, not necessarily a D3 college student, because I didn't understand the niche. I didn't understand growing. I was just having a lot of fun making videos, editing videos. Is when I was first starting to learn how to edit. And when you're first starting to do something that you're actually like interested in, you want to keep doing it. And then as you keep doing it, you keep getting better. I did post a random video though that was just a day in the life of a D3 athlete, and that was a video that was like my first ever video that blew up. It had like 13 to 15,000 views in a week, and I was like, okay, like people were asking for more D3 stuff. So then I did how good do you have to be in high school to go D3? And that video hit like 180,000 views in 3 days. And it was insane. It was insane. I was completely blown away. And then from then on out, like end of sophomore year all the way through senior year, it was D3 everything. D3 college basketball player does this inside of a D3 college basketball locker room, inside of D3 this, day in life of D3, away game, everything D3, because there was nobody else out there doing it. And I started to understand that, well, if I'm the only person doing it and it's put together well enough, because at the time we were learning cinematography, storytelling, all of that. So it kind of went hand in hand with what I was doing daily anyway. That's when we started to really pick up an audience. By senior year, starting out, I was at 15,000 subscribers, and then ended the season at maybe like 105,000. And, that was the COVID year, 2020, and they ended our season. What could have been. But what's beautiful about it is, like, although there's really no closure for us, we still get to go back on it. Everything was documented. And in hindsight, just feels like me and my team were filming a movie. Like everything about it was just a movie. And I feel like it made people interested in what was going to happen next. So after that 2020 year, moved down to Florida, really had no idea what I was going to do, but I knew we had the channel, had 100K. There was people that were interested, but they were all watching D3, this and that. And I didn't have that anymore. So it was like a scramble period where we really didn't know what the channel was going to be. I didn't know if I was just going to, if it was just going to plateau from there or whatever. But we kept uploading. And I remember back to that niche, like how do you grow? You create a niche, you be different than everybody else, and you produce it very well and you produce it consistently. And so, we tried something different. We were going through a period where we're like, how can we upload something that's D3 Hooper, but it's not like trying to, take from what we were doing before. So we did former D3 Hooper versus Park Hoopers. And I think just the idea of being mic'd up at the park as this D3 hooper versus like regular people to see like, man, how much better is like a D3 basketball player than like the average person because of the stereotype of Division III sports. And I think that's why it picked up. And then, we had the storytelling, the cinematography behind it. And that video did like 2.5 million views in 5 days and skyrocketed from that 100K mark to like 250 in a week. And there was this brand new audience that was wanting to see more of this idea of mic'd up at the park. And we finally were able to break out of that former D3 thing into now I'm just D'Vontay Friga, and we have ideas, concepts, and all of that. So long answer, but that's like really how it started from Mount Union. And obviously there's so much more now, but I'm sure you'll get into that.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a crazy timeline. You have such an interesting timeline. I almost feel like you do have eras to your career. I mean, we're not even 30 yet, but you've got like different points in your life. And yeah, COVID was wild. And I remember thinking the same thing is what will he transition into? I knew you'd keep playing basketball.
Right.
In what way? And we're going to this football school, 13 national titles, and yet when I go home for winter break, like kids at my church are asking me like how often I see you, like, oh, D'Vontay Friga, does he do this? What does he eat for lunch? I'm like, okay. I'm like, and then, channel grew like you talked about, you move on to some different things, giving people some examples. Your dad built you a basketball court, right? And so you were basically hooping on a homemade basketball court in really the swamp down in Florida. I love the one you dressed as an old man, went to the park and hooped with those guys. Going through some quick hitters here. I mean, the things you've been a part of, like you talked about, the one-on-one games or the tournaments or the one weekend things. Give us a name that you played with or against that was like, this is crazy. I can't believe I'm playing with him, because I know you played with so many former NBA guys.
So thinking about it like that is so difficult because, like, man, it's tough. Like, which one was really cool was Joe Johnson. Joe Johnson, he's, 49th on the NBA's all-time leading scorer list. Not just a good scorer in NBA, but all time. Ever since the NBA had first begun to up and now, he's top 50 ever. He's top 7 in shooting guards ever for points scored, over 20,000 points. A 7-time NBA All-Star, and it's just Joe Johnson. He's a household name. Everybody knows Joe Johnson, and especially what he did on the Atlanta Hawks and the impact that he made on the game. He was the highest paid player at the time for like 2 years of when he was playing there. That one was a really cool moment because it really was like a big help in turning heads to what's going on in the space. Not that we haven't been doing cool shit for a while and creating stories and doing all this stuff, but it's like, man, if Joe Johnson is coming out and being a part of this, maybe it is something cool. And then people look into it further and maybe they enjoy it. And these NBA guys, they really come along and they help validate everything that we're doing. The validation's never needed from the outside source, but when you're growing a company and you're growing something that you want people to trust that it's a good product and your consistency's there, it's nice that the NBA guys come along and bring their fan base, and now you can grow your fan base as well and give more to the game. So Joe Johnson's probably the best answer I can give you.
Yeah, ISO Joe, good pick. Yeah, because there was kind of like a stigma behind YouTube basketball or being a YouTube hooper or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, and there still is, and there always will be. But who cares, bro? Because at the end of the day, like, it's like that for anything. That's all I ever did. All I ever got for doing the D3 videos was like, oh, you're a D3 hooper, or like, at the end of the day, like, look what we're doing. Does that shit really matter? I don't know. But that's just how I feel about it. There's always going to be people hating. There's always going to be people that are respecting it. But at the end of the day, it's like, just keep treading water, man. Just keep going.
All right. Talked about the people you played with, but being in the creator space, there's people you meet, right? They want to come and watch. They want to sponsor it. They want to be a part of it. Coolest one I personally saw recently, you met Kyrie, right?
Yeah.
Kyrie a little bit. Any other celebrities? And you can talk about Kyrie if you want to. Any other people you met that was awesome?
I'll speak on Kyrie for sure because, Kyrie, not only being who he is, like he's super humble in the fact that he like really appreciates what we do. He's a fan. He's mentioned that he's a fan of everything. Obviously, he's not like fanboying or anything like that, but he watches everything and he really respects this space. He respects what we're attempting to do with the one-on-one space and what we have like planned out. I've gotten on a bunch of phone calls with him and talked to him about the space. I like picking his brain on certain answers because he's like one of the greatest isolation players ever, one of the best point guards ever, one of the greatest finishers, dribblers, one-on-one players. So getting his opinion on this space and also his validation for this, it's really cool because he wants to be a part of it more. He commentated our second pay-per-view for the next chapter with Michael Beasley versus Lance Stevenson for $100,000. And he said afterwards that it was one of his greatest basketball experiences ever. And, he played at Duke and he's played in the NBA and he's won a championship and like he's done all these crazy things. So for him to just say that being a part of this was one of the best things he's ever done in the basketball space is just like, I've been working so long with my team for 8+ years now. And I know that the rest of the guys that we have a part of this team have been working so long to try and understand this space and grow it. So to have somebody of Kyrie say something like that is really special. But yeah, man, like also another one.
What about creator space, D'Vontay? Not just basketball, but, you already mentioned Casey Neistat and how much you had watched him. I know, people, David Dobrik was huge. Mr. Beast is huge now. Any creators you've met that you enjoyed talking with?
I got a chance to coach Mr. Beast maybe like about 2 months ago exactly in basketball. It was like a live stream game of biggest English speaking creators versus biggest Spanish speaking creators. And I was invited to come coach. I wasn't allowed to play because they were doing like creators, not basketball players.
Yeah.
But it was really cool, like going out there and seeing his, just, talking to him and the team and just picking their brains on YouTube and social media and just seeing what's truly possible if you just put in the actual hours and really have that burning desire to build something that you want. And going to their acreage, like 130 acres out there in North Carolina, where they have like 6 different buildings, a bunch of different studios. They build different sets for just one video and they're spending $2 to $4 million on crazy things. So just seeing what's possible through YouTube and wanting to grow a multi-billion-dollar industry in the basketball space, but then seeing like people actually do it was very eye-opening. And it's like we've been head down now the last like couple months, but yeah, it's been really cool. Trying to think of some more people, but it's really been a lot of basketball creators, and I don't really watch too much basketball content. We just create it.
Yeah, right. No, I get that. All right. Well, let's talk about, you mentioned all the time you're on the road doing this, doing that, different tournaments and live streams and meeting people. When you come home, you got a different crazy life going on there, right?
Yeah, man. I have 2 boys. I got a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old now. And that's like my real life, this social media stuff. I'm not saying it's fake or anything like that, but after I became a dad a couple years ago, life started to really make sense to me. I felt like I started to really like gain a closer relationship with God and an understanding of like what we're truly here for. And things just make sense. You gain a lot more motivation and just it's a beautiful thing, really. You feel like you find out what we're actually here to do. And that's, like I said, it's my real life. Like that is the most important thing in the world to me, is my family, my wife and kids. And I love coming back home. It makes traveling really hard.
Sure.
If I had to, leave and like work and do something that I wasn't necessarily like happy and eager to build, I don't know if I'd make it at all. But it's really nice to know that me and my team are building something that we're truly passionate about. It makes leaving a little bit easier because I'm not going somewhere and like spending time just constantly thinking about the negative things of not being home and what if this happens or what if that. You know, I've gotten to a point where now I know I'm doing my job as a father and as a provider in the family and shit. So it's really nice to live that life for sure.
I think that's really cool. Awesome journey. I'll say an awesome guy, has been for years, and we all love to see the success here in Stark County. Tell us what you got coming up. I know you talked about the platform you're building, but also I noticed a couple key events soon as this weekend, right?
Yeah, Thursday on the 19th. On the 19th, I'm bringing Lance Stevenson out to the park. You know, we just did that pay-per-view one-on-one with Michael Beasley and him, and a lot like his name is super trending in the basketball world right now. And Indiana's in the finals, so a lot of like creating a really good video to hit the algorithm has to do with like what's going on in the world today. So, you know, game 6 is on Thursday with the Pacers and the Thunder.
Mm-hmm.
Pacers need to win it. They're at home. Why not bring out Lance Stevenson, who we just grew a relationship with, who played on the Pacers? And it's crazy. It might be our biggest park event ever. We have thousands of shares on it. I'm actually a little nervous about this one.
So you're playing him, right?
Sorry?
You're going to play him?
We're on the same team, so we're going to do like 3-on-3 half-court stuff and just have a huge crowd at the court.
Yeah.
And then Monday, bringing Matt Barnes out to the park in LA. He played in the NBA for a little bit too. Really good shooter, scorer. And then we're going to New Orleans at the end of this month for a next chapter. So my channel and next chapter are separate. They work hand in hand, but we try and keep them very separate. A lot of what I do is like, you remember Grayson? Grayson and I work really close on coming up with concepts for the D'Vontay Friga page, but then he's also a co-owner in Next Chapter too. So we got a bunch going on, but you know, if I could tell you what's next, man, just stay tapped into the Next Chapter. We're about to hit 1 million subscribers over there as well. And like I said, we're looking to grow that into the biggest thing in basketball. I truly believe it can be done. We're only 2.5 years in right now, and we got marquee NBA matchups with Kyrie commentating and a bunch of people turning their heads wanting to invest and get in this space. But once we make the right move, I know that this will be as big as the NBA, if not bigger.
I love it, man. Really, really cool. I'm glad people get the chance to meet you a little more, talk ball a little bit. Always fun, and get a chance to, again, subscribe to D'Vontay. He'll talk more about what he's got coming up, and you can always see that on all his social medias. So check that out. D'Vontay, thank you for the time. Good luck with everything, man. It was great talking to you, and we'll talk again soon, huh?
All right, Billy. Thank you, bro. I appreciate it.